I'm back for my... Oh, that's me being inactive for over 5 years. My bad, y'all. I honestly had no clue what to post on this channel after I stopped posting that stuff.
Stop being a kite.
But, just like the average abandoned YouTube channel that gains traction on their old videos out of nowhere, I've decided to go into making video essays! And what better topic to start off with than object shows, specifically Inanimate Insanity. I could truly go on and on about how many writing flaws there are in general in the show, but to spare the headache, I'd like to focus on only one character in particular that I think has suffered the most from this, that being Paintbrush. Before I delve into this video, I'd like to add a quick disclaimer. I like Paintbrush. They're in my top 10. I just feel as if there's some flaws in their character that have yet to genuinely be brought to light. My overall character analysis on Paintbrush will be split into 3 respective videos, addressing specific writing flaws within their character. First being personality flaws, second being character dynamic flaws, and overall importance to a plot, which is third. This video will tackle personality flaws first, and will be ordered chronologically with timestamps. That is, if I can figure out how to work those. Alright, enough yapping. Let's go all the way back to square one, with Season 1. In Season 1, Paintbrush wasn't really much of a fully fleshed out character, among lots of others this season. Most characters that actually got a personality were the finalists. However, some characters weren't completely flat. They still had some small characteristics, even if they weren't fully fleshed out yet. For Paintbrush, it was their adamance on being the better team leader for their team and being the responsible one, their ability to help out team members and friends in need, and their, need I say, explosive temper. And, well, the jokes about their gender, but I guess that's 2010's humor for you. They were pretty much a blank slate despite those characteristics, along with their little to no character relationships other than Marshmallow. I mean, with how flat their character was back then, it would make sense to make the changes they did in. Throughout the entirety of Season 2, Paintbrush has really grown to have more support when it comes to getting more depth added to their character, getting more screen time, therefore adding more attention and emphasis onto their character. Of course, the cornerstones of their character stayed, but they were definitely built on a lot more to make them feel like, well, more of a character. For starters, Paintbrush's adamance on leading the team was evolved more when it came to why they were pushing it so hard, especially when you add on their annoyance with Lightbulb's lack of actual leadership skills, feeling as if they needed to be the responsible one and step in. They also seemed to make them a bit more arrogant and self-centered, mainly caring about how the other team and their team members viewed them. Their friendship with Marshmallow became more defined, shown by Marshmallow looking to them for guidance in episode 10.
Look, you thought you knew her, but now you know for a fact she was just taking advantage of your popularity, right?
This showcases that their care for their close friends has definitely maintained over time. And their temper... honestly, their blow-ups are absolutely warranted every time. Let's be for real. I'm taking that as a plus. Clearly, they've done the right amount of work needed to make Paintbrush an actual fully fleshed out character that could stand on their own without assistance of another character at hand. That was until episode 12 hit. It's a little convoluted to have this episode get its own section, but trust me, I wouldn't have done that unless there was actually something important in this part. Like, I don't know, a major turning point in the writing. I swear, I could go on and on about how fire the parts with Test Tube and Lightbulb were in this episode. But that's sadly not the topic of this video. Instead, I'll have to focus on the parts with Paintbrush actually in them. In the beginning, Paintbrush confronts Lightbulb about it being best that they aren't in a team anymore, leaving them on their separate terms, which isn't actually out of character for them. The part where they said they were friends was, but I'll get to that next video. We've never really been on the same page when it came to team decisions, having major differences in opinion. But here's where it gets fishy. Once Paintbrush lets their anger get the best of them, resulting in them putting themselves up for elimination, Lightbulb goes up to check on them, which is completely undeserved, but whatever, leading to Paintbrush apologizing for saying that they shouldn't work together. This feels rushed. Like, this apology came too quickly and was honestly accepted too early. Just last episode, they weren't on good terms, especially Paintbrush being obviously annoyed by Lightbulb. How did we go from absolutely sick of Lightbulb's antics to finding them endearing in the span of one episode? They're trying to shove several episodes worth of character development into just one episode. One that Paintbrush isn't even fully in for the entire runtime. This is when the show starts pushing for more Lightbrush scenes, in favor of the fans who ship them together. That decision, from this point forward, would practically taint Paintbrush's original character and their purpose, becoming someone who solely doesn't matter anymore until Lightbulb is mentioned or on screen. This definitely doesn't resolve on its own, or get better, especially as we progress on to
Free NBA Youngboy!
When I tell you I only watched Invitational to get a better timeline on how we got to this, I mean it. There are added parts of their character that I feel are only implemented in this season in specific, that either don't stick or don't fit. Before OJ's elimination, they were pretty normal. A few odd exaggerations stuck out more, but other than that, they acted pretty similar to how they were back in season 2. That was until OJ's elimination, which left room for Paintbrush to have another rivalry with a new character, that being Silver's burn, which I'd argue that Silver's garbage personality rubbed off on Paintbrush, making them like a slightly less horrible version of Silver, becoming a more exaggerated and unrealistic kind of self-centered, overly confident and theatrical. It's almost cartoony how completely out of character and flanderized they've become. Instead of caring about how the people around them feel about them, they care about how popular they are and how they're viewed on television, which could be interesting if they didn't make Paintbrush as insufferable as Silver is. In episode 12, where Cabby mentions Lightbulb in a negative light and Paintbrush looks at her like she just shot their dog in front of them, you'd think they'd defend her in the moment, right? I mean, going by the logic that they're suddenly friends now, right? They wouldn't just do a 1,000-yard stare and say absolutely nothing. Nah, let's have Paintbrush call them out later on in the episode and talk about how Lightbulb helped them take leaps. What leaps? When did that happen? Couldn't you make them stand up for her in the moment? A point where Paintbrush actually recognizes that she's trying her best to do a good job at leading the team, even if it's in a silly or wacky way? Maybe it could be instinctive. The feeling that even if she's not there, they'd still want to defend them and their actions, realizing that they're good-natured in the end and using it as an actual learning opportunity for Paintbrush. Even if that's what they were trying to do, it really didn't get their point across very well. Once again, plot points and character are being twisted and turned to fit whatever plot point they're going for with Lightbulb and Paintbrush, which I fear only got worse after this season, and finally moved on to the...
Thank you, Pink.
For this section, I'll just be talking about the moments Paintbrush was actually irrelevant or present in the finale. Their appearance in episode 15 really irritates me because of the glaring plot holes in Paintbrush's cameo in that episode at all. But I'd rather save that rant for the next video. Although, something that rang as off or out of character to me was this scene.
The least I could do is win in your place.
Lightbulb, I'm proud of you no matter what.
I'm proud of you, no matter what.
What?
In what world does anything I just summarized fit this outcome? We just went from 0 to 100 real quick, because nothing among the aspects I just touched on when it came to the writing of this character arc would ever lead to Paintbrush saying this in such a short amount of time. There wasn't even enough time for Paintbrush to even come to this conclusion at all. This is why I'm making this video. To touch on how unnatural and raggedly the timeline moves in this plot point. It happens so quickly that it hits you like whiplash. Even Lightbulb was taken aback, because it's not like they've ever bothered to say something like this before this point. It was sudden. It was foolish. Continuity goes down the drain when it comes to appeasing to fans and shippers. I mean, who said that? wouldn't this change in direction towards Lightbulb make the most sense to start after Lightbulb's death? That would have been so much more impactful, because if it started a turning point at that specific moment, it would feel so much more impactful and important to have Paintbrush watch her die. If Paintbrush already likes Lightbulb, then there's no point in making them specifically watch her die. It adds no stakes, no turning points. There's literally no point in making them watch Lightbulb die. You can literally replace any character in Paintbrush's place because of how pointless it is for specifically Paintbrush to be there, especially if it never affects them or their relationship. Paintbrush's character writing is a mess, to say the least. Flip-flopping their personality and their arcs to fit a certain agenda, which only creates confusion on who or what they want Paintbrush to be. And sadly, Paintbrush isn't the only victim of this show's inability to actually write smooth and satisfying character development that only create obvious plot holes and mistakes in the characters themselves. If I could end this video off with one suggestion on how to fix this issue going forward, I'd say to actually give the development time to breathe. Give it time. Not everything has to be rushed to a conclusion immediately. If you force it to move quicker, it becomes a jumbled and confused mess that can be hard to swallow for viewers. Characters should change over time at a more natural pace. Rushing only creates a sloppy conclusion and a more confused audience. Alright, complaining over. Subscribe to see the other 2 videos I have cooking up in this saga, and, follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. Bye!
Y'all niggas is broke. Y'all niggas is bums. Y'all niggas ain't getting no bread. I'm getting all this bread to the bread.